What helps spiritual progress? People who have been buffeted by rough winds, either because God allowed it in order to rein them in, or because of the devil's envy, are in need of much sunshine and spiritual refreshment before they can blossom and bear fruit. They are like trees that have grown bold during winter's halcyon days, only to face the cold north wind afterwards. They will need constant spring sunshine and showers for their sap to circulate again and to blossom and bear fruit. Geronda. What must one do to make the spiritual turnaround? It takes a Philodimo-filled effort, with hope and trust in God. Trust in God, simplicity, and struggle with Philodimo will lead to inner peace and security, and then the soul fills with hope and joy. For the athlete, to be crowned with victory takes patience, Philodimo, and spiritual bravery. Bravery stems from a heart filled with Philodimo, and when one does something with his heart for Christ, he neither tires nor feels pain, because such suffering for Christ is a spiritual feast. Spiritual progress can be rapid with a little Philodimo-filled effort and awareness of our inner self. In the meantime, the soul will be befriended by Jesus Christ, by Panagia, the angels and the saints. Study, prayer, introversion, and some peace and tranquility help a lot too. Christ helps those who are fighting the good fight that all the saints embraced in order to subdue the flesh to the spirit. Even when wounded, we must never lose our composure, but should instead ask for God's help in continuing with the struggle courageously. The Good Shepherd will hear us and rush to our aid, just as a shepherd responds to the bleating of a lamb that is lost or wounded, or threatened by a wolf. I constantly think of those who lived a wretched life and are now struggling. I love and cherish them more than those who do not suffer from passions. Even a shepherd will be more compassionate with the injured or sickly sheep and will give it more attentive care until it gets back on its feet again. If again we struggle aright but do not see any progress, sometimes the following is happening. Because we have declared war on a demon, he seeks reinforcements from Satan. So if last year we were struggling against one demon, this year we are struggling against 50. Next year we'll be struggling against even more, and so forth. God does not allow us to see this, so as we don't become proud. But even though we may not realize this, God continues to work in our soul when He sees our good disposition. Geronda. What is wrong when someone struggles but really makes no spiritual progress? He may be proud of his struggle, but let me tell you what causes some people not to progress. While they have excellent potential, they squander their energy on insignificant things, and this drains them of the strength required for the spiritual struggle. Let us imagine, for example, that we set out to attack the enemy and prepare ourselves with all necessary weapons to confront him. He, however, fearing defeat, attempts to distract us and draws our attention elsewhere through sabotage and diversionary attacks. We then turn our attention to these attacks. We waste our energy right and left. Time passes. Munitions and supplies diminish. We provide our soldiers with old, worn-out clothing, and they begin to grumble. The end result is that all our energy is used up, and we do not really confront the enemy. This is what happens to some in their spiritual struggle. Geronda. Don't one's surroundings help in the spiritual struggle? Yes, they do. But sometimes one can live among saints and still make no progress. Was there ever a better opportunity than that given to Judas, who was always with Christ? Judas had neither humility nor a good disposition. Even after the betrayal, he did not humble himself, throwing the silver coins down with anger and pride. He hanged himself in sin. The Pharisees also acted like the devil. When they had accomplished their evil work, they told Judas, "See to it yourself." God acts according to the inner condition of man. The Holy Spirit is not obstructed by anything. What I have learned is that no matter where someone may find himself, if he struggles with Philorimo, he can achieve the desired goal, the salvation of his soul. Even Lot, who lived in Sodom and Gomorrah, he had attained an impressive spiritual condition. Now, whether we want it or not, we must struggle for our improvement, so that the divine grace may be active in us. Real events compel us and will continue to compel us to approach God all the more so as to have divine power to confront every situation aright and effectively. And naturally, the benevolent God will not neglect us. He will protect us. In any case, we must know that when we improve our spiritual condition, not only do we feel much better, but Christ too is pleased. Can anyone imagine the great joy experienced by Christ when he sees his children advancing? I pray that all men and women may achieve spiritual progress and be united with Christ, who is the Alpha and the Omega. When all of our life is dependent upon him, then all things are sanctified.